This game should have been great. Most of us are huge comic book superhero fans, villains included, and you see the trailer and you're hype. You're thinking maybe you can start planning out wearing costumes, walking around the house for no apparent reason, but then reality hits. Square Enix decides to sprinkle in microtransactions in a game with glitches and bugs, a game that's supposed to be a live service grindy grind with, let's say, gear pieces with no soul in them. I mean, it makes Fallout 76 looks like heaven, right? So what do? You can go cut the grass, watch for it to grow again. You can make some pancakes and waffles for the family. You can even start to play those video games, the ones you got for free in your library that you say you're going to get to it, but you never do. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment for more. The Critics Collective, we're going to talk about Marvel's Avengers and what went wrong. Now, Marvel had been dominating cinema and probably even television for years. Guardian of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Thor movies. Put in the comments which one is your favorite. But most like others we watched anyway. I mean, sure, Meteor Man, Blade, and Iron Man set the trend for superhero movies like Superman did back in the day. But they decided to bring this universe to gaming, hiring 5 of the best studios that people will talk about to make the ultimate Avengers game. Money poured in, expectations were there through the roof, and then it happened. 2020 happened. The teaser looked sick. Story driven, looked like it was cinematic out of the movies. Fans imagined stepping into the Avengers boots, but then the release, let's just say it looked like someone took a sledgehammer to every Avenger model. Iron Man was okay. Thor, he looked a little confused, like he just got off a Norwegian cruise line, and Hulk was depressed. And the 5 studios later, the game still felt fragmented. Marvel's Avengers launched as a live service looter shooter. Think Destiny meets The Division, sprinkled in with a little Borderlands. As you start off with Kamala Khan, fangirl at Avengers Day, basically a superhero Comic-Con on a ship, and then A-Day happens. There's a mist that covers all of San Francisco, people mutate, and the Avengers are to blame. AIM takes over. Mechanics are there, each Avengers has their unique combat moves, combos, special ability. On paper is awesome. In practice, I'll let you see for yourself. See, Iron Man dominates, much like Thor, but everyone else feels like, at times, filler content. Captain America, kind of bland. Black Widow, unutilized. Thor, barely in the story. You see Thor towards the end, and it's not spoiling you of anything. And Hulk being so sad and depressed, listening to, I don't know, Coldplay from time to time. Kamala Khan, a walking cliche. Glad that Disney Plus cleared some stuff up for most of us. Iron Man was mostly fun because the others just didn't have that personality, even though the voice casting was great, even though a lot of times the environment felt big and the graphics were there at times, it just didn't feel all together. The story had potential. Rebuilding the Avengers, the fallout from A-Day, character dynamics, but predictable tropes, weak boss fights, and the obvious plot twist that made it so forgettable. Even though the big reveal, like AIM's cure being poison or Cap's imprisoned in the moon, it felt unnecessary. Combat was chaotic. Particle effects everywhere, explosions, hundreds of drones. Oh my gosh, the drones. Battles were hard to follow. Small AIM bases made navigation awkward to find the next checkpoint. Hulk slams into walls. Iron Man goes supersonic, then crawls at a slow pace. Missions were very repetitive. Going from base, punching asteroids, repeat. Enemy variety, minimum. I just said drones, and drones. Difficulty spikes halfway through, and then forgetting there was a difficulty as you easily mop the rest of the enemies. Force grinding for gear barely matters. Gear? What gear? Cosmetically or minor stat boosts. You're just picking up pieces to make a number go bigger. You don't have that same sense of feeling that you do with a typical looter shooter or even a role-playing game that's like Baldur's Gate or Path of Exile, where you know that this piece not only cosmetically looks different, but you'll play different and you'll get the numbers to go with it. So behind the microtransactions, the fun factor, minimum. Players suffered from choppy frame rates. long loading times, dragging missions. Even when it was smooth, chaos reigned supreme. Next gen console fixed some of the performing issues, but first impressions always mattered, and boy, did they matter and linger. The grind never felt rewarding. Iron Man's gadgets were fun, but again, the other ones felt like it was just cosmetic padding. Now, successful superhero games focused on clarity, polish, and story. Let me give you some examples. PlayStation on the Sony, it nailed transversal. People still play some music to Spider-Man just going around the city. They had the combat down and the story and the graphics. Capcom vs. Marvel, it focused on precise fighting mechanics. Put in the comments of a Nintendo game that actually had Marvel characters in it that people still wanted for this day. But Lego Marvel offered accessibility, fun for everybody, all ages, ridiculous amount of Easter eggs in it. Now, after the Avengers, we got Gotham Knights. It was a solid concept, and we really, really wanted it. We're starving for this kind of video game play, but poor reception and mechanics faltered that one after the superhero landing. Guardian of the Galaxy, that came out, I believe, in 2021. It was a story-driven, and it was focused on just being different, RPG-like. It was fun, but unfortunately, it underperformed in sales. Now, I will say, my opinion, Guardian of the Galaxy was a really good game. You should give it a try if you haven't played it. In my opinion, it was the better of Marvel's Avengers, Gotham Knights. Avengers tried to do everything and ended up still satisfying no one. I know that has to be frustrating, not just an executive, but for a developing team before they went ahead and split and went their separate ways. Now, here's some of the reasons, in my opinion, for the failure. Overly ambitious scope, way too many studios, too many chefs in the kitchen, and not enough cohesion. Fragmented development, a lack of a single vision, whether it was combat, story, or balancing. Technical execution, bugs, crashes, loading time. Live service model just was a mismatch. The grinding and the microtransactions don't pair well with the cinematic storytelling. Fan expectations. Players expected polished superhero gameplay or characters that look like the movies, not chaos, not repetition. The DC DLC that came out, if we call it that, the Black Panther helped, but it couldn't fix the core issues. I mean, Square Enix had acquired another studio in Montreal, right, which contribute to the developing mess, I would say, more chefs in the kitchen. Marvel oversight, it happened. Disney was there making sure what could be done, and you can see this on the war tables, which was the devs coming to a stream and letting us know the progress of what they were working on. The communication gaps left the studio struggling to maintain consistency. Live service fatigue was real. By the 2021, the player base was dwindled. Critics, like the Critics Collective alike, and fans were disappointed. This game often cited as a cautionary tale. Even if you had money, a massive IP, and budgets, poor execution can kill or sink a project. This game had marketing all over the place, whether it was gum that you can get a code from, whether it was gear that you can buy that unlocks stuff in the real world, like think like a keyboard or a hat or something, unlocked a certain skin or a player, or the fact that you can get PlayStation exclusive, things that you can add versus maybe Xbox. Avengers reminded us to focus and to polish. Some of those things right there matters. What the players looked like they wanted was tight combat, meaningful missions, a cohesive story. Don't overcomplicate just because you can. The Avengers tried, in my opinion, to do everything at once and lost sight of what makes a superhero game fun. In the end, even the mightiest heroes couldn't save this game. You can throw money, talent, and IP at a project, but without any clear vision and execution, you end up with a flashy headache. And no, my spidey senses aren't tingling. I'll keep the grinding as Miss Marvel, dreaming of what could have been, avoiding microtransactions like radioactive spiders. We do truly live in a society. Yeah, that's funny. For me, I will say that, but you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Hit the subscribe button, follow for more with the Critics Collective on the Dad Panther. And until next time, click a lick allow.